In this video, we're going to focus on how we can create multiple group bars, but also a matching line for those specific bars, with exception of the last bar here. As you can see here, that one will be excluded, while all the others will have the line matching with the bar position. To do this, we'll be needing our border template, which you can find here on chartjs3.com getting started. Once you're on here, copy this chunk of code and you're good to go. Next, if you want the source code of this video and many others, check out my Patreon page, and of course, got a question, put it on Discord. So the first thing what we need to do here is we're going to group them together with our data sets. So what I'm going to do is just going to add up another data set, put a comma, save that, there we are. Of course, what I would like to do is that the values, and let's make these values more clear by setting here some different values. I want them to be grouped into a separate part. So for that, we're going to use a trick where we can allow an additional scale, and this is what we call scale stacking. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a comma. I'm going to say here second scale, so I'm going to say here for the x-axis, I will give it a new scale ID, and this could be second x or x2. By default, this will instantly being registered and understood by Chart.js, but if we give it anything else, second x, in that case it will not yet understand it, or to a certain extent. So what I need to do now is just get this in here. So what I'm going to do here, I will say here for the x scale, we'll do something here, and then we have the second x, we do here something as well. So what I want to do for this, then I'm going to say here, not begin, but stack 1, and we're going here for the second x stack 1 as well, meaning that they will now be side by side instead of having it all together on top of each other. So now we have this here. So what we could do now is adding up another items here or another line. So how do we do that? If you understand the logic of this, we can apply that same logic for a line. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this full data set, put a comma, and then we just keep it like that. And maybe just for the sake of this video, I'll just give this a different color, and I'll give this or like a single color here. There we are. There we are. And we'll call this black sails, black sails. Let's save that and see what happens. Oh, all right, so now it gives us an error because I have a double comma here. Let's save that, refresh. So now we have this, but these should not be all bars. This should be a line. So this one is the line. This is the black bar. So to do that, I'm going to say here, after the comma, we can just say here the type, and we define this as the line chart as type. Save, refresh. Now it will work nicely. Of course, if your last item should have a different color item here, you can change that. And if you don't want to have an additional line for the very last one, that was a sample for or the question related to, then give it like that. Same we can do now as well if we want to get the first one. So if we say for the first one, we could just basically remove this, or just say ID axis X, it will recognize it, but that's the default. Let's save that. And of course, same story here, save, refresh. Now, as you can see here, we have now the line here. So if you would like to extend again, all you have to do is basically just copy all of this, copy that, let's paste that in there, and we can say here now another line, and I'll give this a orange. This is our orange color. This is the line. I'll call this then our bar. And then for the bar, we remove this to make sure it's by default bar because we have the type bar here, or else what you could say here, type equals bar, one or the other, it doesn't matter. And then we just put in here orange and orange as well. And then now this will not be second, but it will be x number 3, x3. And then we have to do make sure here for that, comma, x3 will be the skill name, save, refresh, and there we are. And that's basically it. Here we have this, and it will work nicely. And then I think we should have had for the bar an additional color, and then here maybe black. To make it stand out, fully black, there we are, and that's it. If ever you want to add, for example, another line here, what can we do? Well, very straightforward, the same logic. The only thing we need is, well, let's copy all of this. I'm just going to paste it in there, comma, this will say here, this will be red line, and we'll make this red, give it some different values so you can see the differences, so it will nicely overlap each other. Let's do it like that, save, refresh, and as you can see here now, this will all go in here, it will recognize these in here, and that's it.